For more on this report, on this jobs report, I want to get the White House view on this with Labor Secretary Hilda Solis joining us from Washington, of course, and Dick Grasso staying with us as well. And Secretary Solis, we were talking to a raft of economists this morning about the jobs market. Even though the headline number was better than expected, people are still concerned about what is going on, that the recovery is not fast enough. But what more can the government do to improve the labor market?
Well, I think the investments that the president has made in renewable energy is very significant. We're seeing growth, for example, in manufacturing, business and professions, in those consulting positions, engineering and architectural. Obviously, today he's out there in Indiana visiting the Allison transmission plant, where they're looking at a new vehicle, a truck vehicle with a hybrid technology. Those are things that the American public needs to know, that we can compete across the board and across this world. And making those investments is paying off. That's why we've seen growth in the last 3 months, 760,000 jobs in the private sector added. And last November, remember, the unemployment rate was at 9.8%. Yes, it's up a bit this time at 9%, but we know that people are looking for jobs, and people are not finding jobs.
Right, and Dick, as you pointed out though earlier, is that the question is what happens in the labor market when the Fed pulls out, right? When we end this stimulus.
Absolutely, and I think that's when the rubber will meet the road. But I'm going to turn to the Secretary, if I might. Madam Secretary, will the administration consider some sort of a tax incentive to repatriate more than $2 trillion that currently sits offshore in return for new job creation? In other words, can I bring some of that money back tax-free so long as I put it into new job hirings?
Well, that's a question that has to be asked to the Treasury Secretary and obviously the feds. That is something that obviously I'm sure will be discussed. My focus is on Main Street. I care about the jobs coming back home here on our shores and the investments here in renewable energy. And again, I do think the president made some very good strides last December when he gave tax credits to businesses as well as payroll tax, and help our own ability, our working class families, to be able to draw down money. That's why you see growth continuing in sectors like manufacturing and retail, hotel and leisure. But we still have to do more. We have to apply more of those tools and make sure that private industry feels confident enough to continue to grow out and bring more of those jobs here.
Well, Madam Secretary, I'm hoping we can deputize you to become an advocate on behalf of repatriation, a tax incentive, so long as that tax repatriation is keyed to new hires.
I would agree that it's important to support businesses, and I think we're doing everything we can right now to make sure that we make a better fit. Alone in our Department of Labor, we've helped more than 40 million people this last 2 years to get jobs and find employment and get new training. And that's the biggest obstacle right now, is making sure people get training. And I'm so concerned also about our young people. They still are experiencing very high rates of unemployment, and that's why I'm asking corporations to join me in an initiative to help put summer jobs out there, so young people can have the same future that you and I may have had early on in our life. So they have somewhere to go, that they have good education, and they have opportunities, and they remain optimistic.
But Secretary Solis, I think what is interesting about this, though, we were just running a soundbite of Matt Rose. He's on the Jobs Council. And some of the people on that council have said to me, look, we all want the same goal. We want to create jobs. But things are just not moving fast enough. Decisions are not being made quick enough. When are we going to see some real job strategy coming out of something like the council?
Well, I think that those reports and recommendations are now being given to the president, and he's reviewing them. And certainly my own activities here, working with members of those councils, has been very productive. We're actually connecting many of those folks with our job training programs, and we've had several over the last 2 months, and I think they're very productive. We're actually giving more tools to some of our major industries to understand that they don't have to necessarily go abroad for all their technical training, that they can find it right here, and we can actually gear that and prepare people here through grants programs that we can provide and make that a better fit for employers and employees.
But in the end, Dick, a council like the Jobs Council that the president put together, how important is that?
I think it's
Very
critical.
important.
I think you've got some of the most important CEOs in the country from a wide diversity of industries sitting there, and I think the president can use them as a communicative tool to the broader industrial community. I think it's absolutely critical, and I hope we'll see some positives from them very soon.
Secretary Solis, I'll have to leave it there, but thank you very much. Hilda Solis, the Labor
Thanks so much.
Secretary.